35. Will you please rise and join me in the pledge to our flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let the record show that all board members are present and accounted for with the exception of trustee Devine. There were no actions taken in closed session, and I will now entertain a motion to adopt the agenda. So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Now move on to public comment. Waiting for it to come up here. All right. This is an opportunity for individuals to address the board on items that are not on the agenda. Please note that while we will be listening, because it's not an agendized item, we will not be able to discuss the item or address the item directly. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board on an item that is not on the agenda? Anyone online? Nope. Okay, well then we will then move on to reports. And we will start with the Robla Education Foundation.
Good evening. And it looks better up there than it does down here. Anyways, this one's going to be a little bit longer than normal. It's your fault, not mine. Oh, it's on. Oh, it's on. Okay. Anyways, foundation was busy over the summer with the fireworks. I don't know. I do have the clicker. And it works. Good. Anyways, on behalf of the foundation, I will acknowledge all of the people that we had, the volunteers. I had 24 volunteers. They worked multiple shifts. It totaled up to about 91 shifts, not counting mine. And it worked out well this year, to the point that we exceeded our sales from last year. We were 10% above, and I just got a check a couple of days ago for $130 some odd. That was the bonus for meeting our goal and exceeding it, getting our extra 10%. And this is a continuation of the list. We had several people that had been doing this for years return. Some of them now are trying to leave the district. But we had some new members, and we had we had Glenwood PTC was represented. We had Main Avenue PTC was represented, in addition to other folks this year. That's just a rundown of how many shifts each one worked. We had I had the same driver this year for every night, every morning, every night, and her and her daughter also came out a few days before we started and assisted me with cleaning up the area. We had to make sure that all dried vegetation and garbage was taken away from it. We had certain requirements in order to sell the fireworks. That's just a rundown. And with keeping in mind, before I move on to the next item, I have a couple of checks here to hand out. Yes, you have to get up. Our first check is in the amount of $6,820, of which $4,000 of this is our annual grant to the Strings project. There was other money that was in here from other people that was designated for Strings. So Yeah, the letter's in there, so a lot of information you'll have to be passing along here in the near future. I know. I read the other report. This isn't yours. Next, the other one I have, I gave me and Evan the PTC their check earlier this afternoon because they're still setting up the account. I also have a check here for the Glenwood PTC in the amount of $330. And this was one of my new volunteers, Sabrina, and you're glad I remembered, huh? I knew Craig was going to get on me if I didn't. But anyway.
I'm just surprised
Surprised or amused?
that you remembered.
And while I'm remembering things, a special shout out to the first 3 board members. The other one was back home in Panama. It happens. But anyways, Craig was there almost every night, and he helped with the breaking down, packing everything away in the U-Haul truck, which was very much appreciated because our evening crew that we had the same people, so it went quicker. The morning crew, it had a few variations, but it still all worked out. And thank you all for being part of it and participating. One of the things I'm looking forward to doing this year is, now that we have the community schools grant people on board, is work with them and to further enhance parent engagement and get some more volunteers in the booth from all the different sites. So yeah, I'm going to take full advantage of that.
There you go.
Another thing, Terrific Ken was celebrated a couple of weeks ago. The books will be here next week, and 9 students were able to select their books and with their $10 certificate. And one last thing that the foundation just recently did is we were asked if we could help sponsor about 24 to 28 children to go down to a basketball camp. It was set up primarily, it was through FAME, which is the Filipino Alliance for Multicultural Empowerment. And they set this basketball thing up through the Kings coaches and a few other organizations for kids that at this point were going through some very stressful mental health crisis. And the 2 pictures on the left of the kids, those are 2 kids that are particular to me because they are here at Robla, and they had some recent trauma that's been really bothering them. And so it all worked out well. The person who contacted me was Marcy, and she is the SCOE representative clinician, or mental health clinician that's assigned to Robla School. So it worked out well. And everybody has had a chance to see that. And the other good thing about that is the foundation, the people who work for the money, they approved. I actually cut back the amount from what was approved to $1,000 and was able to get our District 2 City Council person, Roger Dickinson, his office kicked in $1,000. So they did a matching grant with us. So we were able to give them $2,000, which took care of the cost of 28 kids for that session. Everybody had a good time, and it was beneficial. And that's all I have for now.
That's a lot. Thank you so very much. And thank you for all that you do for our community.
Well, due to the length of the report, that you'd probably put me down lower on the totem pole the next time.
Mr. Revan, before you go, I want to echo what Trustee Lou said and thanking you. And I don't think everyone knows how much work you put into this, and you make it look easy. Everything from getting the booth set up to, if you've ever been in the booth, they have a ton of permits and everything that go along with setting up the booth. You got the placement, making sure that we're in the shade, and you've got everything. There's so much work that goes into this, and that's before you get to coordinating all the volunteers. So, and you make it look easy. So thank you for all your hard work.
Now, to be honest, the most stressful part of the booth is getting the staffing set up. You make sure that ahead of time, that I don't have to sit there and say, gee, I hope I can get somebody on the 3rd or on the 4th. Unfortunately, this year, as you know, I had a few of you said, okay, we'll step up. Some PTC people from both Main Avenue and from Glenwood, they came back and they put in extra shifts above and beyond what they had signed up for. So it works out, but my heart can't handle that stress. So that's why we're going to take advantage of schools liaisons, and maybe I won't have that stress next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have the Robla Teachers Association, CSEA, Superintendent's Report.
Good evening. I'd like to first start. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge that today marks the anniversary of September 11th. We honor the memory of those who lost their lives and recognize the courage of the first responders and all who were impacted. Thank you. So it's been a while since it's probably over almost a month since the last time we had our board meeting, so bear with me. So no, Mr. Raven, I won't put you down because mine might be a little bit longer than yours. But I want to say that school kicked off really well, and we have a small increase in enrollment, so I want to celebrate that and say yay, and we're still enrolling, so that's exciting. As Mr. Raven said, we had our first Terrific 10 last week, so I'm super excited that the students already submitted their book orders. So I said that as soon as you get them in, and I know Mr. Raven will give you your books. Next week, see? Great. Expanded learning is going well. You'll hear more about it in the presentation by Mr. Botkus. But I will say I am pleased that we are now able to offer before school care, and that is in response to the needs of our families. So families, if you're listening, you know, we do have an option of before school care at all sites. On that note, I will say that we still have space in after school care. So please, you know, continue to go to your sites. I know you can register online, but we do have openings. I understand and recognize that there are some families who might want to or prefer a specific program that's at capacity, and you choose to stay on their waiting list. But, you know, I want to let you know that there are available spaces in all the other programs. September, we're going to do 2 big pushes. One is for Parent Square. While I will say that we have a great percentage, over 90, maybe 95% for contactability, right? Where the messages are going out to at least 95% of our families and staff. However, we do not have the same number for those that open the messages. So we are going to do a push this month to, one, make sure that you have your Parent Square set up on your app, and 2, that you open our message. So there's going to be one day this month that I haven't picked out yet where we are going to send out a message, and we will let you all know, and you have to open the message, and then we will run a report, and we will have a raffle for all the families and staff who sign up and open the message. We'll put you in a raffle, and we're going to figure out some really exciting prize that's going to encourage you to open a message. We just want to make sure that communication that, especially, just information that not only you get it, that you'll be excited to open it as well. And the second push will be for our educational benefits form, formerly known as LCFF form. And so we have a deadline by the end of the month to make sure that our families complete that form. And it really is important to complete it, whether you feel you're within a certain financial range or not. This form determines funding for our schools, right? The district and our schools. And it really does make a difference on the programs that we are able to offer. So that will be the two pushes in the month of September. And I'll probably throw in an attendance challenge because I see a Taylor parent here. I will probably throw an attendance challenge, and I know it's a big competition between Glenwood and Taylor. Let's see. I do want to say congratulations to Maine and Taylor. I received recognition this week that they are 2025 California PBIS Recognition Award schools. Maine will receive platinum recognition, and Taylor will receive gold recognition, and they will be recognized at the 10th Annual California PBIS Conference in Sacramento, August 8th and 10th, through the 10th, excuse me. And those two schools will be on the California list, recognizing their work with their implementing PBIS. What is PBIS? That's what you guys are all asking me, right? Positive behavioral intervention and supports. So the systems that they have at those two schools have are being recognized for platinum implementation and gold implementation. And then finally, I just wanted to give an update. We had a community concern regarding the condition of the flag that's on the pole here on our campus, right? Well, on our property. So I want to say first, to acknowledge that that is not our flag. We do not maintain it. There is a company that leases the land and is responsible for its maintenance, right? As well as doing what's necessarily like today when we should be what is it? We should be at half staffed, right? And so there is a perception that Robla School District is not honoring that, and I want to acknowledge we are in communication with the company. We have asked them to replace the flag because it is tethered and faded. They agreed that they will replace it. It does take 5 weeks, so it's not going to happen tomorrow, but they are willing to improve their communication with the district when we reach out to them and say this should be half staff for the next 5 days, or we're going to give you 5 weeks heads up that it's time to replace the flag. So I want to just, I appreciate the community that reached out to us to concern, but I want to acknowledge that is not us. We are working with that third party who leases that location to do a better job that represents Robla standards.
I very much appreciate that because Old Glory is a nickname, not a description.
Thank you. That's the end of my report.
All right, now we'll move on to board member reports. We'll start with Trustee Cardona.
I was available to attend the teacher year with Superintendent Shane. And we was represented by Irma Zavala White from Main Avenue. And it was an honor to be there. It's a beautiful ceremony, and we was really proud to be there for her. And just for heads up, Mr. Rubens, I wasn't here last summer because I was in Panama, but I do like when if I'm here, I'm happy to be part of your personal event. And I was.
Trustee Hamilton Stark.
I feel like it's been a while, so I can't remember if I already said this, but I had a lot of fun at Freedom Schools this summer doing Morning Harambe and the Read Aloud, and it was a lot of fun, and I always look forward to next summer when I might have the opportunity to do that again. So.
Trustee Barnes?
Oh, I unfortunately was not able to attend Freedom School. So Daryl, if you're listening, I apologize. I will catch up with you. But I was able to attend the back to school night for Robla, and I wanted to make this the back to school night for Bella. It was the same day, but traffic prevented me from doing that. But I was able to come to Robla and see back to school night led by Mr. Caff and his staff, and I just love those events. They really do set the tone, and you get to see the families that are excited. You get to see the staff that are excited. You get to see everyone that's excited, and I just love those events. And that's all I have.
One thing that I just wanted to note, it's not as much a report, but in light of everything that's happened recently with the shooting that took place at the Utah College University, I want to say we're in an era right now where political discourse is become less and less civil. And one of the things that I really wanted to acknowledge, and I want to acknowledge not just my fellow board members, but I wanted to acknowledge our staff and our community members. Last year we had at least one issue that was a challenging issue, and it was one where people were very passionate, and I appreciate that we were able to discuss that issue, we were able to debate on that issue, we were able to address that issue, and everyone, even while passionate, was respectful, was focused on the issues and focused on our core mission. I honestly believe going forward, if we're to get out of the habit that seems to be taking place in our national politics, it starts local, it starts with community, and being able to have those conversations, being able to be respectful of one another and respectful of our differences. And I just wanted to say how much I appreciate each and every one of you and how you have contributed to that and the atmosphere here in Robla. And I just felt like that was something that was, especially considering everything that's going on, that was worth pointing out and worth saying. So thank you. And with that, we're going to go to our next item, public hearing, the 2025-26 sufficiency of instructional materials. That hearing is now open.
And for those of you who are wondering why we do these hearings, every year we always make sure that we have enough instructional materials for our students. That's our perception. This is your chance to tell us if we are off in that perception. So we want to make sure that parents have the opportunity to come give us their opinion and tell us what they believe. Because we know what we need, but we want to listen to you, make sure you feel heard. So that's why we have these hearings.
I appreciate that.
Any
No comments?
I move that we close the hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to close the hearing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We're now going to move on to recognition. And we have a resolution number 930, National Latin Heritage Month. And we'll go ahead and read it. Whereas the Robla School District is honored to join citizens around the state and throughout the country in recognizing September 15th, 2025 as the start of National Latin Heritage Month, and
whereas Latin Heritage Week, which began in 1968 under President Lyndon B. Johnson, was expanded to National Latin Heritage Month by President Ronald Reagan and enacted into law in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15th, the day which represents the anniversary of independence for 5 Latin American countries, and
Whereas Latin students comprise approximately 52% of the Robla School District student population, and
Whereas Latin Americans are a diverse group that represent numerous ethnicities and geographic and political regions, identifying with variety of terms including Latino, Latina, Hispanic, Chicano, Chicana, and country-specific terms, and
whereas Latin Americans may also trace their roots to the indigenous peoples of the Americas, and
whereas the accomplishments of this group span the fields of medicine, law, education, agriculture, sports, the arts, science, business, and government, and
Whereas the cultural influences of this group have been remarkable in the food, language, and music of American culture, and
whereas awareness of these contributions should be part of a full understanding of sharing history and culture.
Now, therefore, be it resolved by the governing board of the Robla School District that September 15th through October 15th, 2025 is designated as Latin Heritage Month, and that all educational sites are encouraged to recognize the contributions of Hispanic Americans through our curriculum and activities at the school, and passed and adopted by the governing board of the Robla School District on the 11th day of September 2025. And with that, I will entertain a motion to approve.
so moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. We'll now move on to presentations and information, and we will start with our expanded learning opportunity, or ELOP, and after-school education safety ACEs update.
Good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Alexios Vakis, District Coordinator for Expanded Learning here at Robla. And today, I'll be providing you important updates about our expanded learning opportunity and after-school education and safety programs. We have updated both our ACEs and ELOP plans with guidance from the CDE. These plans have been intentionally designed to complement and align with each other, creating a single coherent vision for expanded learning here at Robla. In addition, the official fiscal agent and ownership of the ACES grant has transitioned from the City of Sacramento to the Robla School District. Moving forward, this year we're excited to announce two new program partners, Right at School and Stay After School, joining our existing previous providers, City of Sacramento START and Robla's Family Development Center. Here's how our programs are distributed across our schools. Stay After School operates at Bell Avenue, Glenwood, and Main Avenue. They also provide our Before School program, which starts 45 minutes before the first bell. And that's offered across all school sites as well. Robert's Family Development Center is offered at Taylor Street in Glenwood. Right at School, including Sacramento START, are both provided at every school. The following shows our current data across all platforms per school site. Taylor Street leads with the largest before-school program serving 67 students, and Glenwood has the largest after-school enrollment with 222 students. In total, across all providers and school sites, we currently serve 1,028 students, with new enrollments continuing daily. These numbers demonstrate the impact of our expanded learning providers and the programs we provide for our students. We're going to continue to provide the value and the resources our students deserve at the Robla School District.
Do we know how many students we were serving last year? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get back. But yeah, that's a great question, and I do believe the ADA is higher.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, I'll be happy to take any questions, concerns, or comments.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. All right, now we'll move on to item B, the 2025-26 district-wide library manual.
Good evening, Board of Trustees. Before I begin, I want to introduce a couple of people to you. First person I'd like to introduce is Ms. Faye Grundle. Faye Grundle is our certificated librarian of record. Every school district is required to have a certificated librarian of record, and so she is a consultant with our district who was a former teacher in our district, and
I did my student teaching here, actually, and then taught for many years. My son went to the preschool, and Mr. Burns' daughter was a flower girl in my wedding, and David and I have had a lot of conversations. So I'm very happy to still be connected. And to your point, it is definitely a community, and I think every year I contact someone and say, what openings do you have? Because I just, it is definitely, I've worked in multiple school districts, taught TK through high school in some form, and everything I always come back to Robla. This is where my start, and I got an excellent start here, and I'm very grateful for that. And I lived in Wood Lake for many, many years and saw the Robertsville and the Center grow, and it makes my heart happy to know that that is continuing. I'm always telling people it's a wonderful summer growth. And I got to meet Michael Freeze, so that's why I'm a librarian at heart.
Yes, Faye is a librarian at heart, but many districts do not have full-time librarians that work for the district. Many districts work the same way we do in terms of having a librarian consultant. So I'm happy to also introduce to you two of our library technicians are here with us tonight. We have Maylene Gonzalez, who is a library technician at Robla Elementary School, and Soledad Reyes, who is the library technician for Glenwood Elementary School. And if you have any chance when you're on the campuses, go by some of the libraries. They do such a beautiful job of making them warm, welcoming places for children, environments where children would want to sit down and read a book. They have little reading nooks and just they do fun displays. So please come by and check out some of our librarians, especially around the holidays and various seasons, because they do a lot of really cool things to bring books to life, especially books that are very popular around certain holidays. Okay, so the reason that we are here today is that we have been working to put together a library manual. So the purpose of this manual is it's a document to guide us in the Universal School Library policies and procedures for the Robla School District. The manual also will operate for us as a guidance and tool for policies and procedures for handling if there were any time if we ever had a challenge of one of the books that we offer in our district. We have a mission statement for our library to provide access to information and resources supporting literacy and education, promoting lifelong learning, and serving as a resource to families and enabling them to engage in their children's learning and be a part of the school community. We reference the American Association of School Libraries in the manual. A lot of the information that we received is from this well-known professional organization that helps guide school libraries in policies and procedures, as well as we have library standards, the California Model School Library Standards, which are learning standards that are also within this manual. The manual and our procedures also align with some of our LCAP goals. We have 2 goals written in our LCAP. The first one is providing culturally diverse materials. Each year, school library technicians and myself and principals, we all work together to build the capacity of our libraries to ensure that we have diverse materials in our library that represent the community that we serve, as well as building our bilingual sections of our libraries as well. Throughout the district, but even more robustly at Glenwood School, as that school is the DLI program, so we need an even larger population of bilingual books for that program. We also offer extended library hours to support the access to the library for our community, our families. So 3 days a week, the library is open an extra hour after school, so parents can come and access. They can check out books. We have computers in the library. They can access the computers in the library if they'd like to. And we're hoping to work more with our new community schools to build the capacity of that resource for our community and make it even more of a community place. And that's what I have for you. Just wanted to share with you that we have this manual and that we're working to provide the best libraries we can provide for our children.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. All right, now move on to the approval of the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
Second. It's been moved and second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously.
I'm sorry. Thank you, but I want Ms. Sullivan to introduce one of the individuals who is on the consent agenda and introduce our new Chief of Technology.
Good evening, everyone. So, John Ellen is our new Chief of Technology, and we're excited to welcome him. He's going to start his first day here in Robla on September 30th. So, I'm going to let him say a few words.
Hi, thank you very much for having me and giving me the opportunity to join your team to make things great here for the students at Robla School District. I have over 17 years of public education experience, working for county offices of education in a variety of different school districts. So I'm really looking forward to coming and being part of this and making things work well and use technology as an empowering tool. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Welcome to the Robla family. All right, we'll move on to action items. We're going to start with item A. Approve and adopt the 2024-25 GAN limit calculations and the 2025-26 estimate and resolution number 931.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
This is just an annual law requirement that we have to do that pretty much indicating that we don't spend more money than the state give us to comply. And so this is just has been now honestly I don't even know why we do it anymore because we are always on compliance. It's just a calculation that we have to do and the board has to approve it.
I would encourage us to maybe pen a letter to our member of the legislature in the governor's office asking them if they could just put it in the budget trailer bill and remove this requirement because the GAN limit is, to anyone who understands what it is, it's supposed to be this spending limit that right now just doesn't exist anymore. And it's really a waste of time, but it's a legal requirement.
Yeah, it's pretty much saying that we did not exceed our constitutional cap. And we
Yes.
never do because we only receive the funds that we got.
Right.
Exactly. All right, any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move on to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item B, approve and adopt California Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act Resolution number 932.
The following item.
Wait, hold on. So moved.
Oh, wait.
Second.
So the following items that will be presented by Vice President Jennifer Giss from Van Powell, our construction company that is helping us. So as Vice President, I will let her speak.
Thank you so much for having me, Board President, trustees, Superintendent Chen, community. I'm excited to be here, and I'm going to be presenting this evening on a couple of the items. The one before you, item B, is actually it's mistitled, but all the content and the attachment are correct. It is for the emergency resolution adoption at Glenwood Elementary School. As you know, this summer we had that emergency work with the portable from the movement. We were here at the last board meeting with some of the items. This is a formal resolution adopting the resolution that the project was an emergency. We had to do it within the tight timeline of the summer, and we need this for compliance with the Division of State Architecture and the California Department of Education. So this is just a formality, but it does require an adoption by the board. And all the costs associated were spent between the months of July and August.
So do we need to amend the motion to change the title of the resolution, or is simply the fact that we recognize resolution number 932 and sufficient? Huh? Okay. All right, well, we don't need to amend the motion then. We'll just to approve resolution number 932. Is there any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item C, approve and adopt Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act and procedures.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
This is an updated to adopt the, it's called CUPCA. It's a procurement opportunity that the board has. It allows us to procure, the current standing limit is $15,000. And so updating the procedures allows you to go up to $75,000 and procure. Staff would secure 3 quotes. We've come to you through a CUPCA list, and on a monthly basis, you would approve those contracts for facility improvements. This is a standard process. Improvement and adopting this resolution would adopt that. You would be able to file a resolution with the state and become formally a CUPCA district.
Any discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item D, approve and adopt informal bidding procedures pursuant to the Uniform Public Construction Cost Accounting Act, Resolution number 934.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for adopting the prior resolution. And now that you have adopted that, these are the informal bidding processes that we will follow under the adoption of CUPCA. So with this resolution, that is what you're authorizing. And that too will be sent to the state of California to affirm that this is a standard practice in Robla, if you so adopt.
Any discussion or debate?
And just so people are clear, just because we're not meeting, things still happen in the district, and then we have to catch up. So in case you're all wondering, or anyone out there is wondering why we do this, we have to follow procedures.
Mm-hmm. Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item E, approve contracts under $15,000.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
So last month when we brought a bunch of items, they were not on a list, so there were multiple action items. We had talked with staff and brought forth several different items, as you can see in the attachment. These were items that we are requesting approval on. They were under $15,000, which is the current, before tonight's adoption of CUPCA, was the current bid threshold. So this is ratifying those items.
Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item F, approve amendment number 1 to the construction services agreement with McGuire Hester Construction for the Main Avenue new preschool, transitional kindergarten classroom construction project to establish a guaranteed maximum price for the Main Avenue PSTKK project.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Wonderful. This is a very exciting item tonight. This is for our PK or PS TK FDK program for our early learners at Main Avenue. You have hired McGuire Hester. They were brought on earlier, did the pre-construction. We have our Division of State Architectural approval of our plans. And so this adoption of amendment is to amend the contract and establish a guaranteed maximum price for that work. So for this project, you have 2 contractors. You have one that's doing your buildings, which is Enviroplex. That has already been approved by the board. And then this would be to approve all your site and other work in addition to making that a complete project. And so we went through a process with McGuire Hester in reviewing all the bid packages. So they formally bid out to their sub-trades. mechanical, electrical, concrete, fencing, all of those. They received several bids per each sub-trade. And then we reviewed those with the team, a logistics plan, the schedule, and everything is in alignment with our district budget. And there are some allowances and contingencies. So when we bring forth a guaranteed maximum price, the goal is that's as much as we're going to pay. And throughout the process, those contingencies and allowances are managed by the district. It's not just a free-for-all for the contractor to go and draw down without the approval of the district. So we'll be keeping a proposed change order log with those accounts as we negotiate, draw down the contingencies, and then bring back forward at the end of the project a hopefully a negative change order where we give you money back on the project. But we'll be reporting out on that project as we move along, and we're very excited with the establishment of this GMP. We will get started.
Quick question. So when you talk about guaranteed maximum price, so then I'm assuming that means if it's the guaranteed maximum price, there will be no positive change order that's going to require us to go over the guaranteed maximum price, correct?
That is the reasonable assumption. There is an act of God or something significantly unforeseen, then we will come back to the board and discuss that with you. But we are carrying, leading district has 3% contingency of our own. The contractor also has 3% contingency. And with this project, 6% contingency is a very comfortable limit. So working within that, most likely we will not be coming back. I don't want to guarantee this.
I understood that, which is why I asked the question. It's why I've always wondered why it's called the guaranteed maximum when it's not guaranteed.
We really try to guarantee it. No, what it is, why it's called guaranteed maximum price, because if we did not have if the board didn't authorize those contingency amounts on a monthly or even more frequently, we would be coming back to you if there's any change in the contract. So if we need to, have a little bit additional asphalt or concrete and it goes over what's in their bid right as it is now, we're able to draw down for that. Or if there's a change from staff from a technology standard, right? We have a flexibility with the board's authorization of utilizing those contingencies. But again, all those drawdowns of contingencies are backup is provided with it's called a proposed change order. It's a log. We're tracking it. It has all the proper backup, whether it's a labor rate or material pricing, and we're reviewing that as a team along with staff as we work through that. So we try our hardest to make sure.
I very much appreciate that.
In all, I've been doing this for 20 years. There was only one time in 20 years that I had a GMP come back and I had to ask for more money. And it was in the Great Recession when steel prices went skyrocketed up and our entire building was steel. So that was the only time it had to happen. So most likely I'll be coming back in a year from now with some money back for you.
I like that.
I just want to also add that we have not received a funding for this project yet, so the district has been covering the expenditures with a part of the cash flow with the general fund. So once we have this contract, we're going to send it up by tomorrow. We're going to send it to the OPC and CD, so we could get a cash to continue going with this project.
Okay.
So part of the puzzle.
Maybe we can have introduced as the industry standard is to refer to it as the most likely maximum price.
I'll work at it.
Okay, any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. All right, moving on now to item. No, I already did E. Moving on to G. Here we go. G, approve authorization to purchase 2 new diesel-powered school buses.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
We try to provide the explanation in the board package. We need 2 new buses. We buy 5 electrical buses, and but 3 of those are not reliable because the company who we purchase those buses went bankruptcy. They're trying to bring the company back. And so to repair those buses, it's taken us a long time because there's not a local company who could fix those. So it's taken a very long time. Plus, it's not and other companies don't want to do it because they have their rides, their electronic is their only line could work on it. And so in order for us to provide those reliable transportation that for the public, Robla provides public transportation district-wide for our students, and also regarding long trips, we need those buses, these new buses. So we still gonna work on the 5 buses. We still have to crash them. We have to wait, and they give us an extension for 6 months and a year, but we still had to eventually crash the ones, the electric buses that replace the old buses.
Now, I know that they were considering legislation that was going to provide an extension on how long it was going to be before you had to destroy the buses. Do we know if that legislation ever went through?
It didn't really pass. It was, my understanding was, it was like between 6 months and a year.
Oh.
We got to request it, so it was not like a one for all. So we had to request it, and they gave us approval to we had crashed one out of the 5. Yeah.
It is just, this is the challenge with electric buses is a state, has been, well, it's a nationwide issue, but it's been a statewide issue.
And it's that's exactly what I was going to say. It's not, Robla is not alone on this. You just drive around here, you can see a lot of electric buses, new park, because there's many from many districts.
It kind of related to this, the state did provide us the funding for the electric buses that we did purchase, right?
Yes, and
So-
we have received the funding, and yes.
Okay, good. So I just want to make sure that the taxpayers in Robla are not out that money. So that was my main concern right there.
These 2 new diesel buses we are purchasing.
Yes.
And when we bought the electric buses, we had to give up some of the gas buses or diesel buses before. We replace them,
Yeah, we had to,
give them to the buses to get the electric one, but they pay for the electric one, but now we have to buy the buses back, right?
yeah, we're purchasing 2, so we kind of,
When we chose to receive electric buses, we needed to salvage equivalent. So if we receive 3 electric buses, we need to salvage 3. So Mr. Castillo said we'd already salvaged 1, and there's 2 more, I think, 2003 and 2004 that we will salvage. But his recommendation is to purchase 2 newer diesel buses because the other 2 electric are.
one of the new buses that we come, still the diesel buses is still the most reliable transportation, and they have the safest too, and they have AC for the students and for long term in the summer. So we made sure that was our choice. So we decide to purchase with the AC so that our students are comfortable when they, especially in long trips.
Thank you for saying that, because I was going to ask about that. It just blows me away that they don't come with AC, but I'm glad you bought that.
And the lemon law apply to the.
No, I'm laughing because we tried that, but it's because it does not apply because we will receive the funding, and it's a long process.
Yeah, but we give them 2 buses. We have to.
Well, you will hire us to do that is that eventually
get
the
some money
company
back
will
from that.
bankruptcy. We're just going into this a lot of discussions with us. So it's a new company coming, a new name, legal. So it's kind of we're stuck.
Yeah, we're stuck with that.
And okay, so the electric buses, I mean, because this is 453,000, but that's for 2 diesel buses. Just for so people know, one of the electric buses cost us about that much. When it got to the full installation of the hardware and everything associated with that, and as Trustee DeLuce said, we did have a grant that covered most of that, so I'm glad we had that per bus, so that we learned a valuable lesson, but. We're getting 2 diesel buses for the price of one of those electric buses. And hopefully one day, it'll catch up and we'll have some decent electric buses.
No, for all.
was not there yet.
All right. And we took, we took a risk and I went to, at CSBA, the last conference, I went to a session specifically on this and I wanted to hear information about that. And I heard a lot of information in a lot of different districts and we actually got off kind of lucky.
Yes.
Because there are some districts that had, other considerations like, big hills. And the concern was, okay, if we take this bus up this big hill and down that big hill, where do we charge it so we can get back up this big hill and back down that big hill? So there were a lot of considerations. And our area, we have a small district and we're flat. So this is
We don't have freezing weather.
Yeah, we don't have freezing weather. This is a perfect district for an electric bus. And we really tried to make this work. So, I really want to get to that point, but I get why we're buying a couple more diesel buses, and I'm glad that they're brand new.
Yeah.
Not what were they? 2003 and 4, you said?
2003 and 4. We're salvaging.
Okay, so yeah, not 2003 and 4, and I'm so glad that they have recognition. So, thank you.
Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item H, approve 1.0 FTE district chef position, attached job description, and corresponding salary schedule effective September 11, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Yes, we're actually very excited to present this item tonight. As you're aware, our contract with Brigade is ending at the end of this month. And one of the most valuable components of that contract was having an opportunity to have a district chef train our staff, work with us on menu and recipe items, consult on efficiency in kitchens, whether it's the way we produce food or the actual layout of the kitchen itself. And so we found that to be extremely valuable and decided to bring that service in-house. And so presuming that the board approves this item and the next one, it'll bring a close to Chef Sergio's 3-year interview process. So thank you if you do.
I will just say, while I very much appreciated the partnership with Brigade, Chef Sergio was the best part of it. Any additional discussion or debate?
Just to assume that the proposed funding is for salary and benefits.
It is, and it does come from our nutrition services fund. And it's less than the Brigade contract overall because they were other services they provided.
Thank you.
Any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item J, approve 2025-26 Roberts Family Development Center Parent Engagement Contract.
You have to approve
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped one. You're right. You are correct. I'm sorry. Item I, approve employment for Sergio Cardona as the 1.0 FTE District Chef effective October 1st, 2025.
So moved.
I second it. But he's not related to me, okay? Just for the
Okay, any additional discussion or debate? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Item J, approve the 2025-26 Roberts Family Development Center Parent Engagement Contract.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Now we'll move on to board member request for board member agenda items or reports. Trustee Cardona.
I have no.
Trustee Hamilton Stark.
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Barnes.
Nothing at this time, but I will say thank you to all the parents who are either in the room or online. We really appreciate you coming.
And I have nothing except to say ditto. So with that, thank you so very much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
This meeting is adjourned.